Okay, so hello everyone. A wonderful news today. So TCS NQT has been announced, and I know a lot of you would be confused. You may have gone through the page and you would be like, okay, I don't understand if it's TCS NQT or something else. Everything is so complicated this time. So even I was very, confused about the same. So, I had a 1 hour call. As of now, it's 2 a.m. in the night, and we are shooting this video for all of you now. So I had a 1 hour call just like 10-20 minutes ago with the TCS head, one of the heads here, who leads the campus hiring. And we got to know about everything that there is. So we understand it completely. Also, since we are partnered with TCS Ion, which is conducting this exam, so we already kind of realized that we already knew about it always. So that's exactly what we are going to cover in this particular video. So this video would be a little long video, but it'll answer all of your questions. The exam date is 24th, 25th and 26th of October. So that is one, but the exam dates may change. So in the last 2 years, we have seen that both of the times TCS changed its exam date after announcing it, right? So the registration started, but then again, maybe a lot of colleges were not able to, or a lot of students were not able to apply. So which is why TCS, to help them, extended the deadline to apply, and then thus had to extend the exam date as well. So it doesn't matter, because anyways, if not 24th, 25th, 26th, then I think it would be delayed by maybe 1 week or so, max to max. But the exam is definitely going to happen. So in this video, we'll cover the whole recruitment process and we'll understand what this fuss is about. So first thing first, 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022. These are the batches who can give the exam. That is one thing. Now next thing is, last year we had a meeting with TCS Ion when I went to Chennai to meet them, and we were kind of partnered with them in a way then wherein we were helping them grow one of their product, which was called as TCS Ion CCQT, that is Common Corporate Qualifier Test. So TCS always had a vision to create a competitor product to AMCAT, CoCubes, eLitmus and all of these, right? Wherein the same score, you give the exam and your score is valid for a few years, and then there are multiple companies who are partnered with, let's say, CoCubes, who are partnered with, let's say, TCS, and they are also using the same score to hire directly, right? So that is something that TCS NQT is also this year about. I'll explain a little more about it, but then the exam is very similar to AMCAT, CoCubes, eLitmus. The only TCS will not be hiring. There are other different companies also that would be hiring along with TCS, and we'll also display the names of all of these companies in this video, so you don't have to worry. So TCS will hire. That is definite with the NQT exam along with other companies as well. So basically, you will give the TCS Ion NQT or TCS NQT exam. After giving the exam, there's a mandatory section which is Quants Logical English. We'll talk about that later in the video, definitely. First of all, I just want to give you a little overview about what the fuss is. And then there's one additional mandatory section which they are calling that, okay, if you want to apply for TCS, you have to give this additional mandatory section as well. We'll talk about that in the video. So based upon all of these scores, your score is valid for 2 years, right? So not just TCS, but there are other companies also that will call you based upon your score, right? So the companies are JSW Steel, Kotak, RBL, Asian Paints, Bajaj Auto, Bridgestone, all the Tata group of companies, not all, but most of the Tata group of companies like Tata Steel, Tata Capital, Tata Motors, etc., etc. So definitely Tata group of companies would be hiring. So last year we had gotten a list from TCS Ion which said there are 200 plus companies. Out of that, 130 companies were allowed, TCS was allowed to publicly use the name of, right? So I am sure some of the companies will show on the right hand side of mine, right? So now let's talk about the recruitment process. Now you would have understood it's an exam. Additionally, for your good benefit, along with TCS, multiple other companies will also hire, right? So that's a very good thing. So by now you should just know this. Along with TCS, I'm giving this exam. I will be able to apply for other companies as well, including Tata group of companies, TCS and non-Tata group of companies as well, which are partnered with the Ion. Okay, so when we come at the recruitment process, so there are a few things that you should know, right? So there are total 3 different things. The first one is called as mandatory section. And then there are further 2 more things that are subject NQT and industry NQT, or basically the industry section or the subject section. So we'll talk about these 2 things a little later. You don't need to know much about these 2 things for this time. I'll explain you a little later. So when we talk about the mandatory section, so these are the section that you have to give, right? The first one would be verbal ability, 24 questions and 30 minutes. The reasoning ability, that is 30 questions, 50 minutes. Then you have numerical ability, which is quants, that is 26 question and 40 minutes. So this is mandatory section. Now, one more thing is, when you will be filling the form, you will have one checkbox, which would essentially say, TCS and many other companies mandate programming skills as a part of their eligibility criteria. Make sure that you do select this programming skill as an optional test as well. So when you fill the test, there would be one more section that they'll ask you to choose, which is called as programming. Now, if you want to apply for TCS, if you want to apply for other IT companies hiring via the same scores, right? Obviously, Kotak Mahindra Bank, then there is RBL, then there is Tata LXI, Capital. All of these companies would also be hiring for these IT roles, right? So you have to give this exam. So if you don't check this, you will not be eligible for TCS. Maybe you will be eligible for other companies, right? So make sure if you're applying for TCS, while filling the form, you make sure that you click upon the programming part, right? So in the case of programming, which is the subject part, right? TCS had the total time of the programming test is 1 hour. In that, you would have 10 programming logic questions. Now, programming logic you had last year also, right? So it's there still, don't worry. So as I was saying, your preparation is not going in vain. Whatever you studied for TCS is still valid, right? The whole syllabus is exactly the same. It's just that the logical section has been additionally included, right? So coming back, the programming section 1 hour. So programming logic 10 questions, 15 minutes. Then again, there would be 2 coding questions. The first coding question would be easy. You would have 15 minutes to solve it. The second coding question would be a little difficult, for which you would have 30 minutes to solve it, right? So 10 questions, 15 minutes, MCQ, programming logic, coding 1, 15 minutes, coding 2, 30 minutes. And the languages that you can use are C, C++, Java, Perl, and Python 2.7. So that is important. Last year they were having Python 3, but this year they've mentioned it on their website, it's 2.7 for some reasons. Maybe because Prepinsta told that their Python compiler does not work properly, which is why. Right. So these are the important section. Coming to the industry NQT. So we spoke with TCS. They were like, okay, one student give this exam, that is basically for TCS NQT, and their score is published, right? So after that, once the result of TCS is announced, we will give students an additional option that, okay, if they are a mechanical student, they can give their mechanical industry based additional exam, and then they will be eligible for mechanical based companies. If they are electrical students, so they can give this exam, so they can log in into the same portal, and then options will come, okay, which industry do you want to choose? Right. So in this case, you can additionally choose this industry. All the scores of the previous section would be valid again, but this would be an additional section. So let's say if Tata Steel is supposed to hire, they'll tell you that, okay, if you give this particular, that is mechanical industry section, we will call you for interviews, right? So just like it works in AMCAT, CoCube, Litmus, right? So you don't worry about that as of now. Don't even prepare for it as of now. Once TCS NQT is done, the results of the TCS are announced. Then again, if you don't get job, or if you want job in your own domain, then again you go ahead and then options will come later. So as of now, only 4 sections, that is quants, logical, English, and the programming section, which has programming logic and 2 questions of coding. Again, there is no negative marking. Earlier, there was negative marking in TCS. This time, there is no negative marking in TCS. So again, this is important. One more thing is, now this exam will also happen every 4 months. That is what we have gotten to know from TCS, right? So if you don't score well, again after 4 months, there will be one more date that will be coming, right? And in that, you can give the exam again and improve your scores, right? So, but this is something that, is there, but majorly what so happens here is, so for example, TCS is like, okay, we want to hire 25,000 students, right? So they'll hire 25,000 students this time, and then maybe next time you will give the exam, but TCS will not hire. maybe other companies, other IT companies are hiring based upon those marks or the next quarter's NQT exam, right? So make sure that you prepare well for this one. But then again, if you don't score well, you can keep on giving it again every 4 months. That is what we have heard, right? Okay, so let's start to talk about the detailed syllabus. So one thing first that I would like to tell you, I'm sure that there would be a few people who'd be coming up and say, okay, buy our TCS classes, right? Point is, earlier the exam was conducted by TCS itself. But this time, TCS Ion, which is a division of TCS, right, would be conducting the exam. This TCS Ion is the same company which conducts the exam for IIT, AIEEE, RRB, and all these government exams online. So TCS Ion takes care of all of those projects, right? Now the syllabus for TCS and the syllabus for TCS Ion CCQT that we saw last year was different. Was completely different, right? So if somebody says, there are a few overlapping topics in TCS exam which was last year and TCS Ion CCQT exam which was last year, right? There was some overlapping topics, but then again there were some different and additional topics in TCS Ion CCQT. So since the exam is conducted by TCS Ion CCQT, you should be studying from an online class or from a company which has already an online class for TCS Ion CCQT. So since we were partnered with them, last year we got about 4,000 people who bought TCS Ion from PrepInsta. So we had created the online classes for CCQT. So which is something that we are going to include in our TCS classes. So now again, syllabus is different. I'm going to tell you about the syllabus, which is different. So we'll also update it on our website, right? So again, the syllabus is for the verbal language, you have 24 question, 30 minutes. The syllabus is fill in the blanks. So you would have preposition, basically fill in the blanks based on grammar, preposition, conjunctions, tenses, articles, vocabulary, sentence completion, sentence ordering, passage ordering, sentence arrangement, bracket, they'll say, okay, which is the meaningful sentence in the meaningful order, reading comprehension, error identification, error correction, best expresses synonyms, antonyms, spellings also. So spellings, for example, was not part of TCS, right? Word selection was not part of TCS. Passage ordering was not part of TCS last time, right? Best expresses was not part of TCS. Sentence ordering was not part of TCS, right? I could name, like in this topic also, I could name that, okay, the syllabus has changed altogether. There are like out of the English section, there are half of the section is new. Right, so you have to take care of all of this, right? Now coming to the next part, that is reasoning ability. So like reasoning, so TCS, there was only one in the quants, they used to ask reasoning question, but this time reasoning is the whole new section this time, right? So in the case of logical reasoning, you have meaningful word creation, that is new. Number series, which has two things: missing number, single; missing number, analogy; blood relations, coding, decoding; ages, data sufficiency based on rank based logic and ages; seating arrangement, odd man out; distance and direction; statements and conclusion; analogy; mathematical operational arrangement; symbols and notations, right? So that I'm sure other companies will not have it. You can go ahead and check, and their syllabus for TCS and TCS NQT that is new will remain the same, right? So you should know who to trust, right? Again, when we come for quants, which is 26 question and 40 minutes, you would have speed, time and distance, permutation, combination, boats and streams, equations, simple and compounded interest, mixtures and allegations, profit and loss, time and speed, LCM, HCF, prime products, which is not part of TCS, geometry, probability, data interpretation, which was not part of TCS, right? So again, data interpretation would be there in quant. So again, as you can see, the syllabus has changed. We will include it in our online classes immediately because we already have it for TCS Ion CCQT. So we just need to merge those two classes together. So again, I'm sure that tomorrow they will be coming up, a few companies will be coming up that, okay, this is our TCS course. Just check their syllabus. If it's not what PrepInsta has given, they are lying. Right. So coming to the programming logic section, which remains the same because it was not there in TCS Ion, but TCS has asked them to create it. So in that case, you would have pseudocode based on C, C++, and Java, all the three languages. So even if you don't know Java, you will have some questions based on Java, I think. Right. Apart from that, you would also be having data structures, that is linked list, stacks, queues, trees, hashing all of these as well. So very importantly, there's no negative marking, so that's one good thing. About coding, so coding is basically, we know the pattern of CCQT, right? So they'll be asking you questions based on strings, arrays, matrices, all of these things, right? So we'll conduct a separate video lecture on our YouTube for the coding section as well, so you don't have to worry about it. So once you give the exam, right, we particularly think that you should be in the top 20% of the people. So based upon your scores, either TCS Digital would be calling you for interview. If you don't clear the TCS Digital interview, then again TCS Ninja Profile you will be called for TCS Ninja Profile interview. Or else if your score is good but not that good, in that case only Ninja will call you for the interviews, right? So in that case that becomes important. But one more important thing here is, make sure that you do have certification. 20% of your marks in TCS interview are based on certifications. If you're a non-computer science student, then C++, Java, Python. If you're a computer science student, then all of these definitely, or maybe some of these definitely, but apart from that, AI, cloud, IoT, machine learning, front end, back end, all of these certifications you should definitely be having if you are serious about getting job in TCS. One good thing that we do is, since additionally we have to teach you DSA, C++ as well, right? So we give you certification in our TCS NQT Prime Video course automatically. So if you purchase a TCS NQT Prime Video course, you would automatically get certification in C, C++, Python and data structures as well, right? So that's one good thing. So how do you prepare for this exam, right? So in terms of this, again, as I told you, we will be, I think tomorrow is what we'll be doing it. We will be sitting and we will be merging our TCS Ion CCQT course and TCS course, right? Because obviously TCS Ion is conducting the exam this time, right? So we'll be merging them, and the syllabus has changed, as I told you, right? So I think the best way of preparation would be that, okay, you go ahead with our expertise. We are already partnered with the Ion, and we already have the online classes for them. So I would say go ahead with the Prime Video course of TCS itself. We'll merge it together. You don't have to worry about it, right? If you don't want to go ahead with the online classes, then again, you can just practice the previous year papers. From Prepinsta, you can purchase the Prime mock course, right? But then again, let's say Wipro NLTH will come, Capgemini off campus will come. You also want to give AMCAT, CoCubes, eLitmus, and also want other things as well. So in that case, I would say Royal Pass is something that you can try. Maybe TCS NQT Prime Video course, or maybe Royal Pass, right? So TCS NQT Prime Video course will only have the TCS NQT online classes, but with Royal Pass you will get for TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Capgemini, Cognizant, all of these will have off-campus drives, right? And AMCAT, CoCubes, eLitmus. We're also launching machine learning and data science certifications next month. DBMS, all of these, right? So in that case, you can go ahead with that. In terms of if you have any questions, so there are a few videos that we would also be uploading. So we would be uploading the registration process video as well. I would be shooting it just after this video. As of now, it's 2 p.m., 2:30 in the night. So we'll shoot it all the night. All of the 70 people are working in Prepinsta are working the whole night for all of you. So I also want to take time to praise them as well. Right. So we'll be making a registration process video which will have step-by-step registration process on how you can register for TCS. So make sure that you go ahead and watch that. Apart from that, the aptitude, coding, logical reasoning, all of these videos also we will be uploading. So make sure that you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link to all the online classes and the courses would be in the description below. Also, the top 3 courses or the top 3 people with the best, comments, or something that I may have forgotten to tell in the video, and you ask a very genuine doubt, right? So our team will select automatically 3 comments from this particular video, and that particular those three people would be getting TCS NQT course or any other course of their choice completely free. So make sure that if you have any questions, or I missed something, or if you just want to go ahead and tell your experience with Prepinsta on how we helped you, right? So make sure that you do that in the comment section, and please share this video with your friends as well. All the really best, and the pattern has changed. So if in case somebody is not giving the same syllabus that I gave, wrong. Thank you.